Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to the Me and You podcast, where real stories, real people, and real vibes connect. Get comfortable. You're exactly where you need to be. Yeah. Boys.
All right. So we're dealing with global warming, right? So what's something we're going to deal with day in and day out? Sweat stains, sweat pits. But luckily for you guys, I found myself a clothing brand that sponsors the podcast, Fearless. Their clothing is breathable and it's allergy friendly. So while I'm suffering in Nevada's heat, they're keeping me fearless of sweat pits and sweat stains. So I'm going to send you over to their website, stayfearlessclothing.com, and with a coupon code, FEARLESS. You can't miss it, can't mess it up. So anyways, let's get back to the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, your family. This sofa's a little too big for me. As you can see, my feet actually dangle. We also got a guest on top of a guest. So I'm going to actually introduce him. So this is actually a good friend of mine. His name is Jonis. And the reason we brought him on the show is because, one, he is a business owner, and two, he is what we call somebody who is just trying and trying and trying to just succeed in what today we have as the modern day slaving away.
Honestly, yeah.
But anyways, tell them a little bit about yourself, Jonis.
Hi, I'm Jonis, CEO of TopDogg LLC, and my t-shirt business, he has one, it's a TopDogg brand. And yeah, it's a dog walking business in Alexandria, Virginia. And yeah, I've been doing this for like 5 years, so it's been a journey. It's been a great experience, actually.
So when was technically the first time you actually even did anything business related? And I'm talking about think about when you were in school. Like I used to sell packets of gum in school.
Right.
That was my hustle back then. What was your first exposure to being a businessman, essentially?
I would say about like 7 years ago. I started with my mom. She had a cleaning business and I was working construction. And I just was like there thinking, I'm just like, man, this woman is just doing great things and everything. And I'm just like, why can't I just risk it? And I actually quit the construction job. I quit. And the first month I was panicking. I was like, I've never done this. Like, I was like, what am I gonna do? And I just like, I don't know, just hit it blind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go door to door, go to gyms, whatever, facilities, commercial buildings. And I just started asking around, so yeah, that was like my first time, doing it. And I got very successful with it. So it's a good experience.
And that business which business was it specifically?
So it was like a cleaning business. Okay. So it was like Martin Services LLC. That was the first business adventure for me. And I learned a lot of the ins and outs of a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you got to a certain level, were you kind of like almost overseeing the business, or were you always more just like an employee per se?
I would say employee / like overseeing it. It was like a mixture of going back and forth because, like I have a certain way and then my mom had a certain way. So my mom's been in the business world for like over 20 years.
Okay,
so yeah, I had to like pivot a lot with her. But other than that, yeah, it was like my first time and everything.
So because you also went to college as well, do you see college as an asset to the business world, or do you see it more of almost like giving you extra opportunities because you have either A, a diploma, or B, a certain education that other people may not have?
To tell you the truth, it's a plus to have the college route and everything. I think a business, you learn as you go, right? So like I learned a lot through the colleges, through books, but the experience you gain is actually doing the mistakes, in the business world. And I learned from multiple industries. What I've learned through the business stuff is just like, they're gonna be experience that you're gonna witness and you're gonna learn from it, so.
Now, previously I supported one of the businesses that you got into, which was the detailing business.
Oh yeah.
I think I was one of your guys', I don't want to say first customer, but I was within that first month or second month of you guys doing your business.
Yeah, I remember I had that with my cousin. It was like DMV detail.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I hit the ground running. It was like the first month I was there clicking. It was clicking, but we're getting followers through TikTok, you know, and just posting in social media. And this is like through the years of learning. And I was like, well, this is the trend. This is what you should do. Exposure.
Yes.
So that's where, yeah, and then, you know, obviously you give the opportunity. You know, I sent out the technician / my cousin, and he did a great job, you know, so, but yeah.
And what ended up happening with that business venture? Is like, did you end up selling it off, or did you just kind of let them take over it?
So yeah, no, unfortunately with that, like I sold it off to somebody else because like just in this industry, especially in this area, it's very competitive, you know, with prices, and especially the prices that we got was like not bad. You know, we were just starting, and I was telling my cousin, like, we need to make a name, we gotta just hit the ground running. And it got to a point where, you know, somebody came up to me, and then we just, you know, they offered me obviously all my clients, and I was like, you know what, why not? So yeah.
Do you ever see yourself using the terminology that I think it was Rick Ross, and I'm pretty sure I'll find that YouTube video sometime, where it's like there's never room for negotiation, like you don't let money leave the table. It's like, do you apply that with your business, or do you sometimes have to just bite the bullet and just stick to the guns of what the structure of the business is now?
I think it really depends. Since I've been in the business world, from like different industries, it really depends. What are you gonna do, and what they bring to the table, you know? So I would just say sometimes you just gotta stand there and just take the bullet, because it is worth the ending. You know, it is like you gotta like learn from it, obviously pivot from certain things, whatever the negotiation is. There, you know, just depends on that stuff.
Okay. Now, people know you as Jonis, the business owner, but let's go into Jonis. Like, how was life growing up here in the DMV area? Like, how was that experience for you specifically? Like, what made you be Jonis today from growing in this area?
I mean, I could just, wow, that's a good question actually. I mean, just kind of learning around me, like just kind of adjusting to the environment, especially with this area, like being so expensive. And, you know, I grew up like kind of moving around place to place. So I just kind of learned throughout like the years and everything, just like almost like a survival mode. And I was like always like obviously a good kid and doing things and all that stuff. So I just kind of learned, and I had like 1,000 jobs. Like I really just was like doing this, doing that. And I guess I realized like none of that stuff made me happy. So that's where I ended up being where I'm at, because I just realized I was like, I gotta be a business owner at the end of the day. So that's how it went.
That, I mean, the podcast, that's how I viewed it. It's like I've always had this constant struggle of like, do I want to be a business owner, or do I want to work for like a Forbes 500 company or whatever they call it nowadays? But I find myself like, I don't mind working the 9 to 5, I really don't.
Right.
But I want to be where I help people. Like, for example, your field, you help people in a different way.
Correct.
You allow them to do their jobs on a day-to-day basis by giving them the comfort, knowing that they're actual fur babies is what we're going to call them, because some people call them pets, some people call them fur babies.
Those are babies.
So it's like you give them that comfort,
Right.
to allow them to do their jobs. Some of them may be firefighters, some of them may be police officers. You don't know what their true jobs are. They may tell you what their job is, but you don't know exactly what they're up to, what they're doing. And you giving them that comfort of, hey, your actual well-being of your animals are actually going to be very taken care of, no matter what. And you have to present that to them right off from the get-go. And it's like, because every time you meet a new client, it's like you're interviewing for another job.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's presentation. You know, make sure like I just present myself and what I offer with my team. It's not just myself. You know, I have a team of like 20 now, and we all do a great job. You know, because it all starts from me. It stems from me, from the learning, from the experience, and them teaching all the right things to say, what to do, and how to like pivot when it comes down to like certain situations, especially at the meet and greet stage. And like it's very important. That's like building a bond at the beginning.
Have you found yourself in a predicament where a dog may have lunged at you or one of your teammates, like just from a first meeting group? Because I used to work for a dog walking company once upon a time, and it was just, my first lunge didn't happen with a dog, it happened with a cat.
Oh wow.
It was funny. And then
that happened.
let it attack my shoe for like 2 seconds, and then I just looked at it, and then it looked at me, and I was like, "You good?" And then it was like, "Let me pet it," and it started purring. But I was like, "I've never seen a guard dog cat."
That's the first. But other than that, like I'll tell you honestly, man, like I have this aura with like any animal. They just like know he's good, and I'm not trying to like overestimate myself and everything, but like I know it. And like the owner's like, that's weird. He or she don't really act like that with new people, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of that guy. So, but other than that, I've seen it with the walkers, and yeah, I was just like, hey guys, if you reach, they'll teach. That's how I literally tell them, like just ignore them.
Put your hands down, look straight ahead.
Correct. Talk to the client or just have a conversation. They're gonna be barking. They're gonna do this. They're gonna like bother you. Just stay focused on the client. That's it. And it just if you feel comfortable, just put your hands in the bag, or that's it. But yeah, for me, I just come in, like, hey, what's going on? I hear it. I'm okay, no problem, and I just see what's the situation.
So let's talk about when you first started the business, when it's just because you started it just with you specifically.
Yeah.
How was the process of selecting your first employee? Like, then I'm going to make it more specific. How was the process of selecting your first employee that wasn't a friend or family?
Oof. That's actually hard because like my first employees were friends. I'm not gonna lie. It was very hard to like find people, but also to understand how to hire somebody, because my friend was like, oh, I can dog walk, I can do this, it's easy. And I'm like, yeah, come over here. Yeah, I'll pay you, negotiate, do like a little paper offer letter and stuff like that. This is when you get paid weekly, promise and stuff like that. But yeah, no, my first employee outside of this probably took me, I would say 2 years. And after 2 years, that's when I started realizing like, okay, let's change it up, but like, yeah, friends, it's cool, but working with others that's not family and friends can definitely go a long way. That's what I would say. So
now, the first employee that you hired, was it did they apply, or did you kind of like offer to like, was like almost like you met them somewhere randomly and you're like, hey, would you like to work with my business? Or
so that's good. I mean, so with that, my first employee was actually word of mouth by somebody else.
Okay.
So I wasn't really looking, but kind of was like, maybe, was like open to it. I think I spoke with like some of my friends at the time. And then just, I got a call, got a text, and just like kind of going down the ladder. And then boom, the first employee / came in. And it was a female, so like other than that, she was very good. I'll tell you, like she stuck with me for like the first 2 years. And we were both like honestly grinding. Like we both were just like, you got this, I got this, 7 days out the week. Wow. Like literally, like just building this from the ground up. And I'm forever grateful. You know what I'm saying? Because like her being a friend, that established TopDogg LLC. Just literally showing up every day to every client, Monday through Sunday. Literally, like nonstop, morning to the end of the day, both of us. Yeah, so we both were like splitting, honestly, the cake down the middle. You get this, you get that, and then we just doing that. And the crazy thing about it, it was one neighborhood. Like where we started, just one neighborhood, and just like word of mouth right here. And the crazy thing about it, this first client was the HOA lady, the main person.
Oh, so you were set up.
I was set up for, honestly, glory at that rate. Because, when I got to know her, I didn't know until maybe, I would say maybe like 2 months later. And she's like, oh, I told this person, I emailed this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like just there, like, yeah, I'm about to get a client, all that stuff. I took over neighborhood. Like literally, like the whole neighborhood, the HOA, they're like Jonis. Like literally, like, and honestly, that makes me happy. Like the whole neighborhood knows me. They're like, oh, what's the dog? Jonis, TopDogg LLC. Like TopDogg, literally.
I like that too, because they call you by your name.
Yeah.
Which a lot of businesses need to take notes on that.
Absolutely.
Most of the time, like when I flew to Canada for the convention, even the TSA agent, I was like, hey, I want to know your name, man, because it's like I want to shout you out on the podcast, and then same thing with the flight attendants because I took a picture with them. Super awesome. They even let me sit in the cockpit, and I was like, I'm a grown 30-year-old man, and I was like, I felt like a little kid. I was like, no way, because even as a kid, I don't think as a kid I got the opportunity to sit in the cockpit.
Right.
So that fulfilled that little dream there, or that little childhood, and I was just like, these impact moments is like I remember them by their names. Same situation for you. It's like they're in a multi-billion-dollar company,
Correct.
but I remember the names because of how they treat people.
Right.
For you, you're the business owner, but before you're the business owner, you're Jonis,
Right.
and they know you as a good person. They don't know you as Jonis the business owner. And they're like, no, the person I respect, that's who I hire. And so that's what I say. Like, people gotta take notes on that one. If nobody knows your name.
They know your name. That's key right there. It doesn't matter what's next to it, what's the side, what's behind you. It's the name. That's it. And my name ran deep. Really, like literally just one neighborhood to the next one over, to like friends, like literally just throughout Alexandria. And like man, it's just my name flourished throughout like literally parts of just references to like people I know, and then. Yeah, like literally, like you just said it, like I sit there and I really reminisce. I'm like, damn, when I first started, it was just that one client. Now, honestly, we're at like 387 clients. Like I was just like, man, after like so many years, I'm just like, the people know the name and what's attached to it. And obviously, like TopDogg. So, yeah, Jonas the TopDogg. Yeah, like literally.
This is kind of like Dog Bounty Hunter, you know.
Pretty much.
It's like in his own way. It's like for you, it's like we're the top dog in this area.
Correct.
Now the question that comes after is like, are you ready for the next phase when it's expansion? Because it's like, the borders are close here in Alexandria to DC to Maryland to Woodbridge. Like the borders are way too close.
Right.
So for you to just stay in the island of Alexandria, it's like, at your rate, I don't see that happening, like staying that way for more than 2 years. After 2 years, it's like you're gonna be forced to expand.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, honestly, I thought about it too. Because like honestly, I kind of take it, I was like, this is my city. Like that's literally the mindset like I have, like almost like since the brand is TopDogg, I was like, this is my city. Like I run it in a way of every aspect. I already know where I'm going, where everybody's going. And yeah, man, it's almost time. To tell you the truth, like I started expanding in Falls Church. Somebody's like probably asked me Arlington, and I'm taking those steps consideration slowly but surely, making sure the team, because I have a team of 20, right?
Yeah.
So like we all zip around Alexandria. It just has to make sense, because what I've noticed, like working in a dog industry, like I used to work for another company, is I used to zip around from one side to the other. It's time consuming. For them, no.
Time is money.
Time is money. So for them, it was so easy to hire somebody to send it, let's say for example, TC Williams right here. You gotta go all the way to Mount Vernon High School.
Yep.
That's a trip. Obviously it's still inside the city, but you have to get by through like the back roads. And this is a hardworking city, to be honest with you. It's very like
it's New York.
Exactly. Like literally, it's just like it's New York busy. So that's what I noticed. And with the team that I developed, I make sure everybody's working in different zones inside that area, so they can zip around like 10 or 15 minutes, knock out one route, 2, 3. Traffic happens, everybody's good. They get paid hourly, so I'm just like, hey, whatever happens, go ahead. Don't speed, don't do nothing. Just get to the next route, send the updates, you're good.
Because I'm assuming that they have access to texting the clients or
Correct. So we just like we just partner up with a big company called Time to Pet. So a lot of businesses, especially like dog walking businesses, they use this platform. And this is for me, I'll tell you, after like these 4 years, I've been manually week to week putting inputs for clients, texting and reaching out to clients through phone, through text, invoicing, through QuickBooks. So like I did a lot of stuff manually for 4 years. Now I got like a platform and everything's all in one. So now they book, I submit, I approve, they get the invoice, and that's it. And it eliminates a lot of things I've been doing. And we just did this I'm not gonna lie to you, we just did this a month ago. So like
It's fresh.
yeah, it's like a big transition, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a transition of phase of growth. You know, especially like you said, expansion. That's next after like the 90-day trial I just did with actually my next admin person, Nico. Like we talked about it. We got a game plan. We did a 90-day, just a game plan just to make sure by January 1st we transition something to this app, and we're just rolling to the next big thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, what city would you want to play with first? Like, what do you want to be your playground? Because I say playground because Alexandria, that's your city.
Yeah.
Grew up in it, raised in it, born in it. It's like, now you gotta go to your playground because it's gonna be like a playground for real.
I mean, for me, it's recess at this rate, So like, it's just over here is just like home. But yeah, the next thing I would say, it has to be very mindful, also to very precise of the next direction. Definitely, I learned a lot in this city, what to do and not to do. I would say honestly, Falls Church.
Falls Church?
Yeah, Falls Church. It's just there's so much dogs out there. I mean, there's dogs everywhere, but over there, it's just like there's so much people that need it, and it's big. Falls Church is pretty big for their own city.
No.
So if you go to Arlington, there's gonna be a lot of high rises. So parking to like the duration of like dog walking is gonna, with the elevators, gonna cut off so much time. And the only reason why I think about all these things, why I want to tackle Arlington or DC, is because of those issues. So like the rate would change, but like I think Falls Church wouldn't. I could still play with that.
With places like DC, Arlington, where it's more high rises, would you look at or consider just more of a specific business model for those cities, like maybe more or less those fall under the just strictly like dog sitting for like overnights, just because of that time consumption?
I would consider probably doing that. I think I thought about it too, and I think I did a trial with one of my clients. She lived by Adams Morgan.
Okay.
And it was just drop-ins for like not pet sitting but drop-in, and she understood I couldn't stay there because the parking will switch off like Monday, Tuesday, or Friday. Trash day, you gotta be out of that area. And honestly, I'm not from there, so I'm just like, I don't know. And I remember one time just like doing that, I got a ticket. So I was just like, I didn't really like that. So
yeah, tickets is a
DC.
DC tickets.
Yeah, no, it's an arm and a leg. Literally.
I mean, you heard about DC, right? That they're the highest grossing monopoly when it comes to speeding tickets, or just tickets in general.
Yeah, no, I've heard it and I've seen it. Like they have like traffic cameras and everything capturing people just going red every time that they're just earning it. So
every bill like it sees a minimum of $250.
Oh no.
I was a victim of just a parking ticket. I'm thankful that I wasn't a victim of the red light, but man, it's like I always stress out because I had like anytime I've driven in DC, I had that fear of like, oh, I don't want to get a ticket because we just went to go visit the monuments, and I was like, man, if I get a ticket in DC as I come back, I'm gonna be so mad.
No, I've seen it. My ticket when I got it, man, it was $70, and I think I missed it by 10 minutes, like a trash person, and I didn't read the sign. The sign begins at like whatever street, and I was just wondering. I was like, why is that missing over here? Like, I should have paid attention, but I parked there just to go get the dog upstairs in the high rise, come down, and I realized I got a ticket. I was like, oh, that much.
Yeah, and that's a difficult thing, high rises, because it's like, I feel like you have to be friends with the building manager first for those type of businesses to try to get business in those buildings, and then work out a dilemma where, or not a dilemma, but a deal where it's like, it benefits their residents as well, where it's like, they hook you up with a parking pass for the property in their garage, but then every resident in their building gets like a 10% discount because they're helping you. Like, there's ways around it. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of thing.
Right.
But then at the same time, it's like, let's say that one building gives you 10 to 15 clients.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you can manage to schedule it for the whole day, your one employee can be there just one day out of the week.
Yeah, it's funny how you say that because I can tell you I do have a high rise. It's 5 minutes from here. It's called Park Fort, which is like very like well known, very luxurious place. They have a lot of dogs. I got really cool with the front desk person, and mind you, like she was like they have like a key system, but when she knew that we were like walking in or dude, they're on it. And I'm like, yeah, they're literally just like, oh yeah, this is the key, all this stuff. And yeah, she's always like, events, we were going there like, I would say like last year, we were going like almost every week. This is that because she was just like, this is the company right here. And like, just in a building, like I had 20 clients, you know, just there like, every day. And you know, there's parking just for us. They're like, here, there's a vendor, just go to the garage, sit there, and then, dude, it was sweet. It was really sweet. Like my dog was like, man, just park my car, just go walk the dogs, just taking them out, like literally one by one, and they're working from there from like I think 9:30, if I can remember, all the way to 2:30.
Oh, that's a blessing.
That was a blessing. And like literally, I take care of that area because I'm just like, dude, that's the sweet gig. Just park in your car. You don't have to zip around like the rest of the team or other areas and stuff like that. But yeah, no, everybody loves that. But they're like, park my car, easy, go walk these dogs.
That's good. And just like what you said, that tells me that you rotate people's schedules a lot, which then takes away that like favoritism or.
I have to. Yeah, because like some of them get used to it and they're just like, no, this is me right here. But like sometimes, man, like I learned too how to budget. I learned how to like switch things around, audible, and then also too like the benefit with them too. I asked them, I was like, where do you live? And then they tell me, and I'm just like, okay, you live over there, and I keep them myself. The last route is always by the house. So when they end their day, they're right next to the house or just 5-10 minutes away.
Which that right there makes all the difference between a good boss and just a boss.
Right. Also too, it makes a difference like working from a job and actually working close to home. You know, so that's where I just realized like that is like the key for a lot of these things, just making sure they're close to home and just executing things like precisely.
The business you need to do, because your people is mostly relying on their vehicles. You'll just open up a quick loop shop. And then your employees get a free oil change, free tire rotation, and then everybody else, they gotta pay it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been looking into it, like, especially, like, with friends that have, like, you know, shops and everything, but also, too, like, their stuff, like, their hours. They're, like, in Woodbridge or Sterling, and I was like, I can't really provide the work, but usually I tell them, like, hey, I have some walkers, some things happen, I'll just send them, you know, you give the exchange, and I'm always looking out the best I can, especially for my walkers, because, you know, I wouldn't be here without them, to tell you the truth. Like, literally, from my first employee to right now, the rest of them. And we're all just pushing as a team.
Well, I mean, this is how I show people this is real moments. It's like me, it's like I told my wife that is like, when I moved to Virginia, it was like, I'm gonna start a like express service, because I've worked for Honda, Nissan, Hyundai, and I'm like, you know, it's like, there's a lot of things I can work on a car, but I'm like, I don't need to go into the nitty gritty. I'm like, I could just do the at-home services of like the oil change, tire rotation. So that's what I'm gonna be looking at opening up myself. Okay. So it's just like, we'll talk business about that, because it's just like, I just scratch your back as like your employees, they come to me, and well, I come to them in a sense, and then they can refer me to whoever at that point. Because in retrospect, Virginia is so busy, like you were mentioning, that a lot of the time, sometimes people are willing to pay that extra $20 or $30 for that convenience, but at the same time knowing that they're going to be taken care of as well. Right. That's the biggest thing. If you don't take care of the person and they can't trust you, then it's like your business just dwindles as quickly as it started. Right.
That's true. No, for sure. And like, honestly, yeah, if you do this, like, yeah, I got you for sure.
It's like this is how you make business.
Network.
And even when you go get a job in the workforce, is who you know. It's not what your skill sets do matter to an extent.
For sure.
But I have met people who've been hired, and Lord forgive me for this one, but I have met people that should have not been hired, but they got hired because they knew somebody. And literally, they bring this person into the workforce, into our team, and they become the most destructive. Like they destroy the feng shui, and they like really cripple us a little bit.
Right.
But we have to carry them because of who they knew.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not a fan of that. But at the same time, I have to play devil's advocate on it. I have to respect it though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, one day that might be me.
Right.
It's like one day I might be in that shoe where I have no clue what the heck I'm doing, but because of who I knew, they're blessing me with an opportunity to just kind of come in. It would be like if somebody hired me to go and do IT. It's like, I know some basics of like how to fix a computer and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that I can actually be put into the workforce of.
Yeah, no, IT would be hard for sure.
Yeah, it's like somebody want my ankles tied up and beat me up and throw me out the building or something.
It's funny how you said that because like some of my employees are referred by others, and honestly, I kind of like I take that account, but also too, everybody holds their own responsibility at the end of the day. Like let's say my dog walker 1 brings dog walker 2, and spoke highly. Was like, oh yeah, they got everything situated, scheduled, they can do this. And I'm like, we'll see. And then I double check, and then I see, and it's not really the expectations I get, but I don't set them high. And then like when things happen, dog walker 1's like, I'm so sorry, all this stuff, and I'm like, hey, it's not your responsibility.
It happens.
It happens. At the end of the day, they will learn. Just the same way for you. It's almost like you gotta teach yourself in some ways, but like with them, I always tell them, hey, they hold their responsibility and they do it. And then I don't really talk about the dog walker 2. I just fix some of the things and just redirect. That's all. That's what I usually been doing with like I think I have like 5 of them that did that, and then you know what? They're still here to this day. I just had to tweak, redirect, and then just reassure the person that refers somebody to not panic. Because I feel like they get to panic mode. They're like, I brought a bad employee. I was like, I might get fired next to him. And I'm just like, no, I don't see it that way.
Because you're your own separate entities. It's like if I believe that you're going to be the same as dog walker 1, it's like if you're an identical replica, it's like at that point we got a problem.
No, absolutely. You be lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Like literally. So that's why I was just like, it's not your responsibility. I just redirect them, make sure, it's cool. It's not your responsibility. It's them. I mean, they gotta work for that day. But yeah, it's funny how you got that up because I thought about it. It's like, I have a few of that here. But I learned how to like literally pivot from that stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually it's like, if I do go the route of becoming a business owner, because there's many things that are like in the works per se. And the best thing is that my mom lives here too, and so it's just like me and her are talking about tag teaming a whole different field together. And because we have friends in that field, we're like, oh, we actually can ask them questions, and they're willing to give us the helping hand. But at the same time, like, are we prepared and suited for that? Because I'm like, if I do that route, it's not that it's not possible. I would have to essentially hire somebody and teach them everything I know to do the quick service business. But then if they don't have the vehicle to be able to transport the tools that they need, it's like I can't. It's like I can't provide them the car right at the beginning, because just like how I work in the business, right from the beginning, you only have certain tools.
No, yeah, I have nothing.
And so, if you were to hire somebody day one.
Oh no, it would have crashed easily, frustrations and everything. But yeah, you have to have the right tools when you come in. If I would have known that before coming into the business world, and I wish somebody would have told me, I would have been ready. But I learned, and I think just the grind and the hustle I had inside, I was just like, just change, just do this, like just do that. Like every day, like I was constantly doing things that I messed up the day before. So every day I just showed up, and I think my work ethic just got me where I'm at, right? So yeah, man, it's got to be really prepared to begin any business and everything. And I guide everybody that's up like, how do you do that? I was like, let me tell you.
It's like there's a long story, but
it's a long story. Long story short, be prepared. This is a roller coaster.
So when it comes to your taxes and all that stuff, you mentioned you went to school. What was the actual specifics that school taught you? Was it to kind of like manage your books?
Yeah, a lot of math. Like, so I majored with Purdue University, and did strictly online for like 3 years and a half, and it was like a fast track, and it was a lot of math, like accounting 1 to 2 to finances 1 to 2. Honestly, I was gonna kill myself, man. This is like literally, it was like 2 years. I'm like, can I learn something else? Like literally, like I'm not getting nowhere with this. But honestly, I learned a lot, but it was tough. It was just numbers, and I was just like, I guess that's the business world, because you have to know your numbers. You have to budget, you have to know exactly whatever industry, you gotta know what's the money coming in and coming out. You know, and also too, like when you're having a business and you have like softwares, you have like platforms, you gotta make sure you make those investments correctly. So
now, this is a question that you can or cannot answer, just because it's kind of more or less to kind of gauge people to understand like what can happen, because it's not going to happen to everybody the same.
Right.
The years that you've been in business, have you hit that $1 million mark? And not in profits, but like how much money the business has flowed through in total?
Yeah, I'm almost touching half.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm almost touching half amount. So, and yeah, man, I think like 2 years ago I touched 3. Now last year was 5. So this year I can imagine where it's going. You know, just seeing it. I run the reports literally by the end of the year, because this makes sense. You know, just like midway I can take a look at it, but honestly, I don't really want to hype myself up and everything. So I just kind of wait until like December, and I do a lot of my accounting stuff, and I have my own accountant, I have my lawyer, all this stuff, and we just put it all together. By January 1st, everything's done, literally, just precise. Because I learned like my first 2-3 years, it was, I was running late with my stuff. Like I'm not like late with like tax or anything like that, and I don't owe. I always pay my stuff on time. But when it came down to it, I was like almost like to the deadline, because I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So like I was just like, I asked too many questions. I psyched myself at the times. So yeah, man. But when I got like the right people to mentor me and guide me to the right direction, December 31st, January 1st, everything's done. Everybody got everything already, because that's how like I moved from. That was like the start of like 2 years ago. I was like, we're gonna kill this. We're gonna make sure we're meeting deadlines every time. And those are certain expectations for myself and the business, because it deserves it. We need to know where everything's at, stuff like that. And obviously the fiscal year ends for us right there.
That's correct.
So yeah, so we just want to make sure we can start the brand new year straight, right, with all finances correct, going in and coming out. So
that's a lot to take in, because if I think about like with the podcast, is like there's technically a business behind it. The issue is trying to figure out what's technically a write-off, what's technically classified, because technically a podcast, all it is just me throwing money at it, because there's no income technically.
correct.
The only time income comes is sponsorships or partnerships.
Right.
There's really no unless maybe there's an event that they want me to be like a host for, then yeah, I can get paid for something like that. But other than that, there is no revenue. It's just me tossing money at the podcast. And so I'm like, can I technically do taxes? Because it'll always be net zero, if anything, net negative. Because I'm throwing money to upgrade equipment or buy new things or test new products to then invest into the podcast, to use as a tool for your editing, sound engineer, whatever it needs to be. It's like, I'm just throwing money at it. And I'm like, is that something where I can do taxes? And right now, I'm like, I'm not going to do my taxes on that, because it's like, I'm spending money.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what to tell you exactly on that, because since I'm in a service area, right? But for a podcast like that, you probably have to have somebody, that's in the industry, because you are doing a lot of investments. That's a lot of your money. You're not really making much. Like you're saying you're just investing and just kind of going step by step for learning. So yeah, I would definitely leave that to
All right, I'm gonna have to talk to a tax person. I'm pretty sure I can get in touch with a podcaster who's at least making money or not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, their exposure is like online. Just like you said, meeting people, all that stuff, and then when you get that first deal, then that's major. Right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's what I mean. There's a kinetic energy. It's owned by a woman that own multiple people. It's a energy drink, and there's no sugar, and it's actually keto friendly, which is kind of uncommon and unheard of.
Right.
But it actually puts you in ketosis, which is what the keto diet does. And for me, I'm like, man, I would love to just to get sponsored by them, essentially. It was like, I'm putting it out there because we actually swung by their business in Ohio, which is a laundromat that they own on top of other stuff.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, they own a laundromat, they own a clothing brand, and the clothing brand has more than just clothing. They sell a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then they also have a car wash. And so, like, they are consistently building more and more, and then it's like, and then they got into this energy drink business. And then we started drinking it. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. It's like, but you do pay the price for a good product. It's like $4.07 a pop. If you buy the big bulk, you divide it by the total amount. It's like $4 and some change per drink.
Yeah.
But you sip on it. You know, you have to chug it. You know how like Monster, what is it, cellulose, whatever those drinks are? People usually chug it or drink it quickly. You know, this one you sip on it and it.
I don't know how people do that.
It's like just sip on it and it gets you all day. Well, the thing is too is the taste. It's very tart. So it's like, you know, if you try to chug it, you're gonna.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. To some people, they might drink it like it's nothing, but to most, they're gonna pause a little bit. But that's kind of like the type of businesses I look for to try to have a relationship with. And the same thing will be with like your business. Is like now that I'm here in the area, it's like. I know that in a couple of years I'm going to be moving away, but at least while I'm here in the area, whatever we can work together on, that'll be great. Because it's just like, I'm helping you out with whatever exposure you need, and then vice versa, you're helping me out with exposure with whatever I can work in. Because the podcast, like I said, is very diverse in the sense that it's called Me and You.
Right.
Anybody who's anybody.
Right.
It's like there's no demographic that I'm trying to reach. There's no specifics of race or anything like that. It's like, it's literally, I just want to talk with people. And I want to see what they're doing in life. I want to learn what they're doing in life. But at the same time, whoever I meet or whoever I know, intermingle them so they can help each other out. Whether they're in a different state, a different country, it doesn't matter. It's like, advice goes anywhere, which is people need to realize as well. But advice, you can literally find it from a homeless person.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. I would tell everybody too, like advice is free. You know, so like every time I'm giving advice, I'm like, I'm giving some free jewels, gems. It's free advice, I'll take it.
I don't know how many people here in the DMV area that throw away that advice most of the time because there's too many distractions here. I'm not gonna lie.
There is.
It's like when you try to stay in the narrow path here specifically, because I suffered from the consequences of trying to stay in the narrow path and then I got distracted in a whole bunch of craziness. I would say those who actually take the time, like yourself, you invested 7 years total almost.
Correct, 7 years.
So it's just like, how many people can do that? It's like most people can't even stay at a job for more than 6 months nowadays.
No, yeah. It's pretty terrible, right? But yeah, no, 7 years deep into this, yeah. Honestly, and just keep going and just to the last, man. Honestly, for me.
I forgot to ask you. I remember once upon a time you posted something. I don't know if this is technically still on the DL. I can edit it out if it is. But the house that was being built essentially, or the house that you were renovating for, I'm assuming it was for Dogg. It's like a kennel almost.
Okay. So no, actually, it's in play.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. So it's good. Yeah. So my mom and I, we got a house in Mount Vernon. We lived in a townhouse, and I'll tell you, like the neighbors were cool with me, except for one lady in the corner because she was obviously HOA. And dude, in the townhouse, I used to fill that up. I used to have like 8 to 10 dogs. Like I'm telling you, like it was just like
You were their nightmare fuel.
yeah, literally. You know what's so crazy? They were all good. And I sit there, I'm just like, man, God is working in some crazy ways for me because to have that capacity of dogs at a townhouse and the HOA ladies watching me take 2 at a time. But honestly, they're all good, you know, and I made sure, like, you know, if I had to separate them, hey, go to the kitchen, go this, but
bathroom,
whatever, upstairs in my room, like, like I'm telling you, my mom and I, we made it happen just by doing that, just to kind of get by and just building this to get to the next stepping stone, which was a house. Oh my God. I think when I got the house, dude, that house was like, those houses in Mount Vernon, it took a lot to like rebuild it. It was messy.
People forget how old those houses really are.
Dude, they're old. Like they're really old. I think I gutted the inside, created my room, and then created an office room for like obviously TopDogg stuff. And then I built, and I'll tell you right now, the room where the dogs are at was a sunroom. So it was hot in there, so
it converted to where it was safe for them.
correct. So it took me, that was like one aspect. Also too, what I liked about this, and I'm gonna tell you another thing, which I'm telling you, God was just working in some ways. The person that used to live there used to be a retired dog walker. Crazy. And I didn't know until I moved in and I met her and she told me, dude, she has a big cage out in the backyard, which is my job. It was where she could separate do dog training behavior. And it's huge. And I converted it to turf, and there's multiple like fences. There's like a fence here, and then a whole backyard, and then a cage. And I was just like, dude, God just, like, it just literally put it right there for me. I'm just like, we gotta hit this line, like literally. And it just happened. I took out, like, obviously, I got my first business credit line, just emergencies and all that stuff to like create projects and all that stuff. And since I've been in business for like more than 3-4 years now, obviously all these companies like, oh yeah, credit line, you've been in business, you're good. And they gave me a nice little like credit line. Dude, I flipped that in $20,000, the whole house, renovated to us to be comfortable, and for the dogs. The sunroom, that definitely, we had to overthrow everything, we gutted it. And then we just sent all, like, obviously the roof, the compression of the heat, outwards. And then we put AC units, and it started just open, But last year, about like, I would say last January, January this year, I actually built private rooms for my dogs. So every dog or two can go in, and it's free, like obviously they got a kennel, they can kind of use it as like a cave. They can roam, they can have accidents. I'm there like every day, like literally my mom and I cleaning it. 4 o'clock in the morning, we have a routine with them, literally. And, just making sure we maintain the rooms, almost like a kennel, like maintaining it. But I tell you right now, when dogs come over, it's home for them. They're happy.
They're comfortable.
There's
no like, where am I?
Exactly. Like, and then also too, like, I've been lucky enough that some of them come in pairs, so they're not alone in the room. And there's cameras, everything. Like, I watch them. If anything, if I have to step aside and go work with the dog, I'm looking right there. I'm like, okay, he's good. He's just chilling. All this stuff. We got also too, like, I buy Crystal Springs, which is right now I think Ready One. Just I bought out the company, but I buy them 5 gallons of water. Literally, I don't give them tap, none of that stuff. Like, I want to make sure, just the same way. Like, do we drink tap? No. Like, so I literally just give them all that stuff.
How much is that costing you, ballpark?
Literally, honestly, on a month-to-month basis, it's costing me about like $160 a month.
That's
Just
not too bad.
yeah. So like, and I ordered like about like 4 gallons every 2 weeks. So
I was gonna say is like if you have looked into it, and I'm pretty sure you have reverse osmosis systems.
yeah, I'm looking into it right now.
It's like the way how I say it is like if they already have the kennels built in to be their own rooms, I could see doing something a little fancy. Like they have their own water fountain per se per room, but it's all interconnected with that water system.
No, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm telling you, like everything right there in that room, there's a water source that comes by. Literally in my dog's room. Like I have my own dog, and the water system right there, I can just do the filter, change some things up, extend some lines to multiple rooms, they'll get it, So I mean, right now, like, these are just private rooms. We just manually give them the water, exchange it, wash them, clean them. We maintain the house. I mean, we have a lot of dogs that come in, especially, that's just one aspect. The backyard is another aspect. I have to maintain, I'm not gonna lie, I have to maintain the turf, I gotta maintain the grass, I gotta clean up after them. Turf, we maintenance almost like every 2 weeks, literally just cleaning things out with like little spots areas, scrubbing it out, literally.
I remember.
Literally just like, and then luckily enough, like I can provide that job to my family. You know what I'm saying? Because they're, hey Primo, like you got some work out there. Yes. come help me, come clean this, you know.
That's what's up.
While I'm doing like admin stuff and everything, they know. They're like, that's my boss right there. Even though it's my cousin, but I was like, he paid me, so.
And that's the thing is like, you remind me a bit of my uncle Elmer. He owns a home improvement business.
Okay.
And he every cousin, the males in the family, almost every single cousin, is like a rite of passage, has gone to work for him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're going to be that same way. It's like you're teaching them what is it like to be a business owner and what is it like to have a boss. But at the same time, you're showing them this is the type of boss you should have. Or at least this is the type of respect, or at least the relationship you should have with XYZ in that work environment. And that's something, be proud of that, man. Not many people get to claim that title like that, that you're one of the few who is now known as a provider.
Correct.
But not just of money. You're a provider of advice, mentorship, and at the same time, inspiration.
Yeah. I kind of consider everything like a leader for them, you know, especially like, I would say I have a lot of people under my wings for sure. Like my family, my cousins, my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, it's a blessing, dude. Even for my mom, you know, she's been doing the cleaning business for like so many years. I was just like, come over here.
Relajate.
Yeah, just relax, do dog walking, maintain this, you know, and like, there's days that she was like stressing about like cleaning. Just do that, so I got you. And I literally, whatever I get cash, tips, or anything, pass it right there. I'm like, here, this is for your week, all that stuff. And like, you know, like I give, but also too, like, I can't be giving too much because like, obviously I got to budget a whole business, you know? So like, I teach my cousin on a week-to-week basis. My little sister, first job for me. You know, my little sister goes to college, all that stuff. And, you know, like I taught her how to like help out with the dogs, do training. She does some of the admin, which not everybody knows how to do because it's a big business. It's not easy. She's stepping into a role that I had to learn from the beginning, but I'm just showing her the ropes. And yeah, man, she's been like a great help, man, with some things when I'm like gone. So it seems like go out of town, I like literally call myself like, yo, Ken, do this and that, and she like got it, and she does it. Like honestly, it's like almost work from home. You know, that's the type of position I gave her, and yeah, man, it's been sweet for her, honestly.
What I want to see happen over time, because I don't think everybody, your employees or even your family that live here, I don't think everybody's going to stay in the area for like the rest of their lives. Some may not. But I would say is like, don't be afraid either of the potential of wherever they go. Maybe you kind of set them up in a way where you're like, franchise out, like it's still you, overhead, but they're taking your business model to a different place.
Right.
And then from there, it expands and grows. And then it's just like, the Jonis influence is no longer just restricted to the D&B. It's now everywhere. Because your business is not, it doesn't have a ceiling, let's be honest, it does not. And of course, it's never about the money. And I've known that about you, that it's never been about the money.
It's not the money, man.
So it's just like, I think that it's like you have so many different avenues, and I'm very proud of you, the fact of how far you've gone. Because I mentioned when you were at year 3, ballparkish. I think we were at year
2 years and a
3.
half, 3, yeah.
Because it's just like I remember that you weren't traveling a lot, but you were definitely needing that rest. Because I think a couple of your friends were with you as well. And it was just like, I was like, man, it's like, that's awesome. I was like, this is what it's like to be a business owner. You can actually go where you need to go. It's like, you don't have to.
I mean, I will tell you, it was hard the first couple of years. Like, I just showed up, man. Because I knew, like, the fruits of my labor would show, right? like they all say. But recently, I'll tell you, I've been traveling a lot more to like recharge and come back because there is such a thing of burnout.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
You've all been there?
even though like I did it, dude, I was burnt out. Like literally, like my battery pack, like you had to go get some foreign batteries to charge me again, but because like I was just every day just grinding, and I'm telling you, I started from 5 o'clock in the morning every day. To this day, I still do it because that's a business owner. You know, just get my coffee and then boom, just start working, dog walking. People's like, how do you do this? Like, I'm just like, dude,
You build your body to it.
this is that mindset. Also, too, I used to work construction. To me, this is a cake. Like, literally, construction, you go labor, go work from the beginning to the end, and they're like slinging you away. They're
destroying your body.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's why I was just like, when I did that step of quitting, I quit, dude. I used to get paid great. I quit like always like, dude, I paid my debts, I paid my rent 6 months in advance. My mom's like, are you doing something? Like, Dad, need to know? And I was like, wait, I'm working my ass off literally Monday through Sunday, overtime and everything, dude. I was like getting at least about like 6 to 8K a month.
Yeah.
Literally, and I'm just there, like kind of like balling in a way, but it just wasn't the money. It wasn't worth it after already, you know. Like I was just like, this is not it, you know. Like so yeah, man, I just quit. And I took the biggest risk of my life, man, and it's been probably the blessing I ever had, man. Honestly, because look at where I'm at now, you know. So yeah.
So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I love going into the segment of where you give a piece of advice or words of wisdom, whatever you want to toss to the people, kind of giving them a bone, since we got dogs around, it's like tossing a bone. Just primarily, and then of course, shout outs to whoever. I always like giving everybody the opportunity to give shout outs to friends, family. I know mom is going to be the biggest one that gets the biggest shout out.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, word of advice, what I would say about just doing the business world is do it right, show up every day, and you will get somewhere. And the light will be at the end. And I promise. That's the best advice I can give somebody. Honestly, just working hard, that's all it is. Because it's work ethics here. It's not just a coincidence or just like, oh, somebody gave you nothing. You just show up. And that's it. That's literally where a lot of people will be at. Successful people, entrepreneurs, it's just showing up and clocking in, clocking out, literally. And that's the best advice I can give anybody. And then my shout outs, honestly, I would say my mom. Honestly, she's been the person right there that got me and everything. Also too, like, you know, my best friends, you know, like literally, like Kelvin, he was there the whole way supporting me too. You know, so like, and other people too along the way, you know, like they just, I can't even name all of them, man, because like literally I wouldn't be here without all of them, especially like literally my friend Jess. Yo, when I'm not gonna lie, she still kind of kicks in some ways, but like with the marketing stuff, but she literally puts me right there. Like she sees a different aspect, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, like the marketing aspect with like a lot of stuff, just growth through her. Because I would make the investments, she gave me the idea, and then boom, we took off. So I just have to thank all these people that the position where I'm at is because of them along the way.
And then, does she have a business name that we want to toss in there? And I can include the links as well in the description.
Yeah. Paperly Blessed. Literally, man. She's great, man. She's well known around the area, to be honest. And like everybody knows her. So that's my go-to person and everything. So even for you, you know, marketing, stuff like that, or some business ideas, she gives a different perspective, I would tell you. And she's like, I think about like 8 or 10 years in business. Wow. So yeah, she has longer, you know, like
All of us combined.
Yeah, all of us combined. So that's where I was just like, okay, but different service, different industry, right? But yeah, she's learned a lot in her aspect. So yeah, so I thank her for that stuff, and like I said, with the rest of the people that I named and whoever else that didn't name, you know, they part of the shit too.
Now, the last thing I want to bring up is like, you know, you always mentions like, you know, God put me in these places. It's like, how deep is your relationship with Him?
You know, I'm not the type of person to go to church, you know, but I always tell everybody, God is like a personal relationship that you have to find. You know, it's not like you'll find it into like people or just going out and use a soft side. It's just actually having faith. Like literally, like, you know, when things are great, things are down, it's just having faith this whole time, man. And honestly, dude, like he's been with me every step of the way, from like young till now. And what I really saw the closeness is where I'm here today, literally. That's just the answer. I know where he's at with me.
The word tithing is controversial in the believing side of the world, but what I see businesses do that are, like if they have faith, is instead of giving to the churches, they give to their communities or to the homeless, whatever the cause is. What's one of your causes that you've, as your business, supported essentially, or at least think of that you want to support in the future? Because sometimes you're not able to.
Yeah.
And so just like,
that's a good question. I mean, later down the road, you know, I probably want to do something big, you know, just to give back to a lot of my clients, you know, where I'm at. Plus with like, you know, like the people around me, you know, like when I get to that certain point, that pinnacle, that like is still reachable, sky's the limit, right? But there's some like major things that I know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what it is, you know, but there is a call, you know, and I'm going that direction, you know, and I can tell you that, like, I'm a giver. I like to help out, like to do things. Especially like recently I went to the Sauger, and I'm actually been going back like recently, and honestly, dude, when I go out there, I just like, I give, because I see a different perspective.
100%. It's like I used to live out there at one point. I told you it was like I went to school over there, and like back then, this was when it was colones.
Yeah.
It was like $1 was $12 essentially over there.
Right.
My mom would send us money, and at school I would buy everybody bags of chips, water. It's like my mom would be like, "Oh, here's $20." It's like, but don't let everybody know you got that much money, because $20 looked like a lot of money.
It's a lot of money with that.
And so it's like what I did is like I would split it up. Every day I would bring like $2-3 and then buy a bunch of stuff for me and my classmates. Would go play at the playground.
Exactly.
And it's just like, and that's how I've always been since I was young. And so that's why it's like I brought that up right now, because it's like I like challenging people in the now. It's like, even if you know you're saying the pinnacle, it's like, now you say you go to Sauger and help people out there. It's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, try to make it a goal where it's even just once a month. Try to do something for somebody in your circle, and then let it expand to a little bit outside the circle. Just once a month. That's my challenge to you as a business owner, because the big man upstairs, every time you do something for somebody around you that may need it, he's always going to give you tenfold. So that's why I say is like, challenge yourself, because you say waiting until the pinnacle. Well, the big man upstairs didn't wait until your pinnacle to give you all what you got.
You got me right there.
Hey man, I challenge everybody, and I want people to challenge me too, because at the end of the day, it's like I can't practice what I preach if I don't practice it.
Right.
And so it's just like, and I want to see you keep growing, not because of the factors and money is everything else, because I know that you can make a difference wherever you go.
Absolutely.
And if your business grows, that means a bigger impact that you can make. And so you got to build those habits while you're growing, because once you've grown to a certain point, it's a little bit harder to build those habits. And you're aware of those.
That's true.
All right, my brother. So, as we like to say, everybody, stay safe and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Me and You podcast. Yeah. Thanks for rocking with us. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And always remember, your voice matters.